We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids!
All right!
Yum, 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 yum.
Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
Well, hello there, everyone. Hope we're having a phenomenal day. It's a Friday. We have some breaking news, Matt.
Breaking news. Hold on, I gotta find my camera. I apologize.
Get ready. Get ready.
Yes.
Breaking news.
All right. Breaking news.
I even have the sounder. Oh, let me see here.
Need to kill that music.
There we go.
There we go.
Some breaking news sound effects here. So today was the day.
Such high production.
You know what? We do what we can here. We're a simple group. Do what we can. Today was the day. In case you're unfamiliar with the sports realm, I live and breathe the Dallas Cowboys. And today was the day that Jerry met with Dez to determine the future of Dez Bryant as a Dallas Cowboy. The drama began where he wanted more money, and some would say he deserved it. He's one of our best wide receivers on the team, and others would say that his productivity hasn't given him the right to ask for more funds. So that was the loggerhead today of I want more money, and do we want you on the team for that amount?
Right.
And I am breaking the news today that it is official that Dez Bryant is no longer a Dallas Cowboy.
Dez Bryant. His picture is up on the stream right now, if anyone is not aware of what Dez Bryant.
Number 88, throwing up the X. And again, this is some pretty loose reporting because I received 2 texts, and that's the verifiedness of the story so far for me. Two unconfirmed text messages. To me, is good enough.
Well, I mean, I don't know who you're getting text from, but I did see actual reporting going on, and
Good.
It seems to be
Good.
Verified.
I was hoping. I had a small fear after I said it, a small fear of it not being true and me looking like a giant buffoon. So I'm glad. I'm glad it is accurate. As you can tell, it's a smaller cast today. It is just Matt and I in studio. Yep. Zach is on a luxury vacation. I don't know, somewhere overseas, perhaps. Could be.
Yeah, in Dubai, I believe.
Yeah, he did. He took his private plane to Dubai.
Which is why we're talking about Dez Bryant off the top of the show.
Yeah, because otherwise he would have shut that down immediately. We have a lot of things going on today. Again, thank you for joining us. So we're on Facebook and Twitter. Still not live on YouTube. Still banned.
Yeah.
But we are
still
on
in the doghouse.
Yeah. And again, for totally erroneous reasons why. YouTube said we
trumped
broke
up, fabricated charges against us. Our name drugged through the mud.
YouTube said that they were looking into our guidance or our community outlining things, and I don't think that's a true statement. And then they said they would get back to us after you dispute the claim within 24 hours, and that was like 3 days ago. Yeah. So again, some struggling.
Felt a lot of good that did us.
Yeah. Still fighting the good fight. But for right now, all our Facebook fans, thank you. If you like the show, please like and subscribe. This is a show where we talk about things that you would talk about around the water cooler at work, around the thing. So
speaking of, how do you feel about the Dez Bryant news?
I'm torn. I like Dez. I have never been a huge Dez fan. I think Dez is amazing, but he broke my heart way more times than he won me over. I remember yelling at the TV several times throughout the season, just cut him. Just put him on the bench and cut him. Because he'd drop. But then he'd make this miraculous fingertip game-winning catch, and all was forgiven.
As is the case usually.
But looking back looking back at this, I think Dez is going to go off to another team and have a phenomenal career, as most Cowboys who leave us like this do.
Yeah.
But I think for us right now, I agree he's not worth the kind of money that he wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Well, not only that, but he also seemed to have a chip on his shoulder and had a bit of an attitude. And so, like many things, especially with professional sports, if you're producing, then none of that stuff matters.
Yep.
You can talk as much trash on the sideline. You can cause as big of, within reason, cause as big of a problem as you want. Mm-hmm. If you're out there making catches and making plays, then all is forgiven. But if you're not, then the money starts to add up, the attitude starts to add up, and then it starts to make a little bit more sense.
So that was the deal for me. I also, there was an argument that people used to make all the time about Dez, when Dez would have his temper tantrums on the sideline and like knocking down stuff and throwing things around and like yelling at random people, as they go, he's just passionate about the game. That's just passion. Like, you know what? You don't get to play in the NFL by not being passionate.
Right. Everybody there has passion for the game.
Yeah. You've committed your life to this. So no one's like, you know what? I'll go out for the NFL this week and see what happens. Everyone there is passionate. Witten is passionate. Romo was passionate. Dak is passionate. Elliott, they're all passionate. But there's at some point in time that you're being kind of a jerk.
Yeah,
as a clean way of saying it. You're being a jerk, and there's no need to be that way when you're not getting passes thrown to you, and that's why you're upset. You're not upset because you're losing. You're upset because they're not incorporating you into the game, and they're losing. When they've thrown it to him and he's made like 12 drops, he's not over on the sideline throwing a fifth in. It's just when we're losing because I feel like I could carry his team, but time and time again, he's proven that he hasn't been able to do that. So
Facebook is a firestorm with comments now about this. Rachel checking in saying that yelling at the TV is an understatement when it comes to watching a game.
That is my wife, and she would know. There's been a handful of times that I felt bad about it, yelling at the TV.
Okay.
And one of those...
What makes you feel bad? Like, what are the circumstances where you feel bad?
One of those is I was unaware. And again, if the game's on, it is a known thing I'm going to be watching, and I can't normally control what I say. I get into a different mindset.
Sure.
She was filming this adorable video of my son, like, eating his first whatever, I forget what it was, but he was eating something for the first time into the background.
A landmark, a milestone.
A landmark milestone thing. It's being put on film, and she should have known better than to record this.
Okay, it's her fault.
She should have known better than to record anything with an earshot while the Cowboys are on.
Go into a soundproof room. Because
I'm pretty sure I dropped a bomb. And it was pointed at someone. So in the back of this adorable video of I'm sure at that point in time, like 6-month-old son, doing something just remarkably adorable.
Right.
Is me sounding like the worst dad in history. So that is still on her phone, I'm sure, for the inevitable.
Has she posted this? Or
No.
It was too bad. It was ruined.
As a reminder.
Here's who you are.
Yeah, here's who you have become. Which, fair enough.
Samantha on Facebook saying Dez is part of the old guard. They need fresh guys building a new team. CA on Facebook says looks like he might go to play against the Cowboys as a division rival, perhaps the Giants or the Redskins. So I guess we'll see how it shakes out.
And then CA Chatham says that they have no cap space. So we'll see where he goes. I guarantee you he's going to have a phenomenal year, and all of the talk sports stations here in Dallas are going to be talking about what a fool they were to let him go. But he wasn't doing the job here. And so if he's not doing the job here, let him go somewhere else. Yeah. So anyway, that is enough sports talk. That's probably going to be the sports talk for the month for us here. We have some other exciting things coming up. We got to talk about Facebook.
Of course. We're here on Facebook.
Yeah, I love Facebook sometimes. And there has been, Zuckerberg has been all over the press. He went to Congress on Wednesday. So we're going to replay some of that and give you our thoughts about how that went and what my frustrations are with this whole hearing with Facebook. Coming up next on the Lunch Break Show. And we are back. Hello, everyone. So Facebook. Facebook has been in Congress. Zuckerberg has been talked to about the perils of Facebook and data mining. If you're unfamiliar with the story, a lot has come about from Facebook selling data to third parties.
Right.
And it's weird to me because I'm getting conflicting information. I'm getting Zuckerberg had a quote yesterday where he actually said that he didn't sell data, which they do.
And that's part of their business.
Part of their business. But my bigger frustration isn't at Facebook and Zuckerberg. It's that Congress had a chance to sit him down and to essentially tap him on the knuckles for letting this kind of get out of hand, which is essentially all he really needed to have happen.
Yeah.
He data mined, sold data. Bad people got a hold of that data and used it in a way that some would say would be malicious. So that's pretty much it. And so what they needed to do is sit him down and go, one, can it happen again? How can we prevent it from happening? And what is your level of responsibility? As far as like, if this happens again, where can we, where are you to blame in this?
Right. This was your moment to drag him out in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
Get some real answers and not just, obviously there's always going to be spin, but you can ask pointed questions in a place where he is compelled to answer. So this was your shot.
And instead, they sounded like and this is Congress, they sounded like the biggest bunch of pawpaws, just old men that I've ever seen in my entire. Here's a little sampling of some questions.
I was planning a family trip to Florida, and I searched a town in Florida, and all of a sudden I started getting ads for a brand of hotel that I typically stay in, at a great hotel at the price, because it was on the internet, that I was willing to pay, and stayed there. And so I thought it was actually convenient.
I have a Yale hat that cost me $160,000.
I use Facebook. It's wonderful for our seniors to connect with their relatives.
What was Face Smash, and is it still up and running?
That was a sampling of the just ridiculous questions that were asked. One guy was talking about his competitor, and he was trying to get Zuckerberg trapped in a admission of being a monopoly. Which again, that's not what he's there for. Facebook is not a monopoly.
That completely misses the point of
It's just you want to go. I don't know if it's more of a situation where their staffers pull them aside and go, "Hey, here's the question that you need to ask, so that we can have a quotable thing, so that whenever this is running back." Because I think Ted Cruz of Texas, he asked about whether or not Facebook was left leaning or right leaning.
Right.
And again, not the point.
No, not at all.
Not the point at all. The things that Zuckerberg said that I found peculiar here. I'll play one about whether or not he's a tech company.
I consider us to be a technology company because the primary thing that we do is have engineers who write code and build products and services for other people.
So what, am I missing something? What products do they build that they sell?
Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, but it's free.
Yeah, I suppose that tech people or software engineers refer to products maybe different than, you're not talking about a physical product. You're talking about some sort of piece of software or something else that people can use in different ways. And again, the data mining aspect is a product of sorts that people tap into on Facebook.
But to me, you're a social media company. I think that's 100% what you are.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you're tangible thing that you're making. There's no product that people are buying from you, Facebook, other than ads.
They're buying data and they're buying ads or whatever.
So that was confusing to me. And then this question.
We don't sell data. That's not how advertising works. And I do think we could probably be doing a clearer job explaining that given the misperceptions that are out there.
We don't sell data. They do. They sell data.
Maybe there's some sort of legal loophole that he's leaping through here that they don't themselves sell data, but I don't see how. That's the whole point of it. You're collecting data about your users, which advertisers then use to better serve their products to people.
Yeah, I've bought data from Facebook. Mm-hmm. I've bought a Facebook ad where I was able to choose, an age range, a profession, what they tend to like, I could narrow down my search based on the data that people have given Facebook.
Right.
I could narrow down the viewers who were going to see my ad on that. That is selling data. And why no one came at him for that? Like, that's a blatant misrepresentation of the truth.
Andy on Facebook pointing out maybe this is where he's trying to wriggle through the loophole that they sell the analytics. They're not selling the raw data. They're selling what can be derived from that. But still, I think that's, I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. I understand that there's probably a legal difference in that, but I think functionally what they're doing is what people are upset about.
Yeah, I was blown away at the out of touchness isn't a word, but the out of touchness of Congress and why they weren't better prepared. It's one time it's kind of funny listening back to the interview. One of the guys goes, "Hey, it's been like 2 hours," and he wanted to take a break, and because it was nothing but softball questions, Zuckerberg goes, "I can go. I'm good." It was like one of those, like, you guys, this is fine. We can go and get this over with so I can go back home. But it was embarrassing to watch. It was embarrassing to watch with a few exceptions. No one really asked important questions, and it was a colossal waste of everyone's time.
No, it was an opportunity for theater, basically, which, I mean, I'm sure the most cynical among us would argue that that's what it's all about. But it was an opportunity to bring this guy up on the stand and throw a bunch of questions at him, and like you said, get sound bites for one political purpose or another, whether that be you're against monopolies or whether that be you're against liberal bias in media or liberal bias on social media or whatever. Here was your opportunity to have Zuckerberg on record saying, and you being able to say, look, I hammered him for the stuff that you guys care about. Now, none of it, I think, is actually going to create any sort of change, at least that I saw. Yeah. But, I guess we'll see how it all shakes out. Yeah,
there was nothing in that congressional hearing that I was like, okay, finally, we have a thing to point at to go, here's how we stop this from happening in the future. Nothing. There was not one, for me, not one takeaway of moving forward. Here's a system for best practices. But I mean, as social media gets more and more ingrained with everyday life, like it needs to be governed. I'm not saying it needs to be governed by like a controlling party, but the FCC guides what you can say and do on the air and through TV and radio.
Yeah.
There needs to be some sort of person who can say, okay, this is a whole new thing, that there needs to be some watchdog in charge of looking after how social media companies run. Because what Facebook did was, I don't think they were intending it to be negligible, but it was negligible. It was not great. It is a black eye. I think they've learned from it, and I would be surprised if it happened again in such a blatant form. But it's one of those deals that consumers need to be aware of what we're giving out, and providers need to be aware that you can't just do whatever you want with that data that people are entrusting to give to you. So
yeah, and I saw one moment that kept getting I want to say, I forget the outlet. It may have been the Washington Post or something that wrote an article about one of the, and I'm going to forget which senator it was, but someone asked about where he was staying. Like they asked Mark Zuckerberg about what hotel are you staying at? This trying to make some sort of point about the privacy that you're giving away. And to that, I would say the problem becomes not necessarily that Facebook might know where you are at all times, but that we as a culture have become so willing to just share that publicly. It has nothing to do. Facebook doesn't have to track where you are. People are more than willing to tag whatever place that they're in.
Yeah.
So I feel like some of the point there is lost in that, or there's some responsibility on the other side of the issue where if you're using social media, then you better be using it smartly and not just simply tagging every single place that you go and then being upset because people know where you are or people have collected information about where you've gone. You've told them.
And that's one of the funny things that my wife and I were talking about, just how out of hand oversharing has become.
Right.
There is, we have a newborn son, and there is a mutual person that we know, but we didn't have to know them. They were in this is a car seat forum or a mom's group forum or whatever it was, who put her husband just completely on blast. Talking bad about him, talking about all the different things, and we may not make it, and like all of this, very intimate, personal stuff about them and their relationship, and then and it's all right there. Like you can see the whole thread, and she puts, and I guess as like a disclaimer, hey, if you know me in real life, please keep this on the down low. It's like, you're sharing this with
why share it?
everyone.
If you're worried about that, why are you sharing that?
And it was just like, we saw a glimpse into her life that should be totally private.
Yeah.
It should be between her, her counselor or her little group of small girlfriends that go out for wine night or whatever it is. But she put that on Facebook and didn't make it private, so it was public. So we're not even friends on Facebook. We were able to see it and go through and read the threads and read how personal she was being on Facebook with photos and talking about divorce, but then wanting to have another kid. Just all of this different stuff. And I was like, good God.
Yeah.
And and then to turn around and go, but that shouldn't be given to anyone else. No, you gave that info away.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared at some point in time. You can't just give up all of your info about yourself and expect someone else not to take it and use it for financial gain. It just kind of seems weird.
Yeah, I mean, people, I think it works this way with Facebook, with YouTube, any of these platforms that people treat as if it's theirs. Mm-hmm. It's not yours. It's you are using a service, so therefore they have control over. I mean, we're seeing it ourselves when it comes to having to rely at least partially on YouTube.
Yeah,
because now we have part of what we do that can't happen for a little while because of that. So yeah, it's not yours, and therefore you need to know that going in and not think, well, this is my own private little chat room.
Yeah. Speaking of social media going crazy, we have a new product that has been released by the Heinz company. The founders, people who make ketchup and mustard. A new product is coming out that is taking social media by storm. Matt has a hot opinion about this. We're going to get to
people
that
going
here.
Wild about it.
Getting back to this momentarily on the Lunch Break Show. We are back. Hello. Sorry about that. I hit unmute a little bit too soon.
Nah, that's all right.
I think the feedback's still on the...
Oh, is it?
Yep. There we go. Perfect. Again, a live show here, folks. So the new product that is coming out is a combination of two already established products. And this is, again, being done by Heinz. Heinz ketchup is a pretty popular. Heinz has a pretty popular mustard brand and mayonnaise. And now there's a combination of two things, which is ketchup and mustard together. And I believe
ketchup and mayo, right?
Yeah, ketchup and mayo together. And it's called Mayo Chip. Mayo Chip?
It's a terrible name.
It's a terrible name. Yeah. Mayo Chip. It doesn't really flow off the tongue very well.
No, not really. There's a picture of it up on the...
So there you go. That's what they're doing. And again, as anything that is done, right now it's only out in the Middle East, and they said it's doing pretty well, and they're bringing it here to the U.S. Soon. And the social media, I say storm, is brought to you because two groups are either like, one, this needs to be here right now. Like, why isn't this already on the shelves today.
Right. Why are they even messing around
Yeah.
with some other country?
Yeah.
Let's get it here now.
Yeah, this is America.
Get it in our mouths.
Yeah, why are you A/B testing this? This needs to be. This needs to be.
This
on
is
our
gonna
shelves.
work.
Yeah, and the other group is saying this is totally unnecessary. It's just one of those like marketing ploys. And again, it's weird how heated people can get over the most ridiculous stuff.
Samantha on Facebook right now says mayo chip has to be a joke. Has to. I make it. I make it myself at home. I mix. Now I add mustard to the mix, but I mix ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard in equal parts. You mix it all up, and you make your a whole new condiment. And I guarantee anybody that goes to fast food and finds some sort of special sauce on whatever hamburger, they're just doing one or the other. They're mixing ketchup and mustard, or they're mixing ketchup and mayonnaise, or they're mixing mustard and mayonnaise, or all three. You're already getting this stuff.
So Ashley commented and said, this is just fry sauce. So fry sauce is something that comes from the Northwest traditionally.
Okay.
They said, but they've been doing it here. It's all over Oregon is this fry sauce. But people have been doing it here in Texas. That does seem weird to have the two combined. So it already exists.
Yeah.
Heinz is just making a blast all over the U.S. to have the two condiments together. My only issue with this is that it's not necessary. I can just add it together and make it myself.
You can, but that's work. It's work, dog.
Yeah, but I already have mayonnaise. I already have ketchup in the house.
Okay.
Why buy another thing that just combines those two things?
I'm
not mad about it. I'm not mad that it exists. Like that's still, it's like no one's like neutral. No one is like yes or like I'm okay. It's either a hard pass or 100% thumbs up. Get it here tomorrow. To me, I'm just like it's unnecessary. I'm not offended by it as some are. I'm seeing a lot of very vulgar tweets about the comment.
I don't.
They're passionate.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just an unnecessary condiment.
I'm more offended by the mayonnaise or the ketchup, I guess it is, with food coloring in it that makes it look purple or something like that. I understand it probably tastes the same. I'm sure it tastes the same.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with that. I don't need no purple ketchup.
Yeah.
But this I'm into.
See, but like I said, I can't make my own mayonnaise. I can't make my own mustard, and I can't make my own ketchup. But I can make this. It's essentially 50% ketchup, 50% mayonnaise mixed together.
I mean, you can make your own ranch dressing, but
I can.
You can buy the packet of seasoning, or you can
but then what do I add that to?
Mayonnaise?
That's what ranch dressing is?
Yeah.
Mayonnaise and ranch
or like
powder?
Sour cream, and the way you make I guess it's probably sour cream. The way you make ranch dressing out of the packet. Somebody tell me in the comments exactly, but I think that's how you do it.
It makes it so much more disgusting. I love ranch dressing, and thinking that it's just mayonnaise and sour cream and like the ranch powder kind of bothers me a little bit. It makes me sad. It's got to be more to it than
there's probably a couple more ingredients, but my point is you can make it if you want to, and in the quantities that you want to make it in. But I'm telling you, like, I would buy this because it saves me a step. Whenever I make hamburgers at home, we mix all the stuff together and make like I said, I add mustard into the mix, which is very good, folks. You ought to try that. But it's a step that I have to take time out of and do. If it was in a bottle that I could just squirt it on the hamburger, sign me up.
Seth Dennison says that my lunch is now ruined.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be, Seth. You're wrong.
And Mr. Redmond said I have to run, but mayo mixed with ketchup with a little hint of lemon juice is a New Orleans tradition that is used with shrimp. We do it all the time here. It's shockingly really good.
It's almost like a cocktail sauce.
Yeah, and I can see that, but they have a hard time packaging mayonnaise and lemon juice together. And getting that to work out long term.
Right.
That is two things that don't like to mix.
Right. It would probably separate over time.
Yeah, which would be super disgusting.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to I shake my head at the unnecessity of it. But again, everyone likes to have something a little bit different. When I was a kid, I used to do the mayo and mustard and ketchup, kind of like you, but I would add some relish in there. I thought it tasted just like the Thousand Island dressing or just like the secret sauce from McDonald's.
Right. Yeah. Actually, Samantha was asking if that was just Big Mac sauce, but they do add relish, and I believe French dressing into that, and maybe I don't know, vinegar or something else like that. I'm sure you can find the recipe online, but yeah, there's a little bit more to it than just mixing those. But that's a good base to start with.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we have more on this by way of McDonald's. They went to court, and we're finding out whether or not their court case was thrown out or whether or not they have to pay another fine. This is coming back on the Lunch Break Show. And we are back live in studio. We have special guest. He just walked in. How's it going today, sir? Have a seat. Put your headphones on. Doing things live here.
Love it.
I love it. This is how we run. We're going to talk about McDonald's. Putting a pin in that for right now. Go ahead and pull the microphone up to you. Now, I believe Dallas Curley told me your name was Lewis. Lance. I was so close. I was going to take a swing and a miss, and I'm glad I came close. How's it going today, Lance?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Doing well. How's your Friday been so far?
I can't complain. Lots of good things going on.
Oh, great.
So unexpectedly in the hot seat here.
Of course, this is how we run. We just did a break. I want to get your opinion. We just did a break about a new product from Heinz coming out. Heinz. Yeah.
It'd be very distressing this was coming from Heinz.
Yeah.
So am I getting underwear or ketchup?
No, it's ketchup.
Okay,
ketchup.
cool.
They're doing mayo chup, which is mayonnaise and ketchup mixed together in one bottle.
How have they not done this earlier?
Well, that's the
my
yeah.
question.
They're calling it fry sauce.
That's
and
a Utah thing.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
you go.
That's a Utah thing.
So,
I grew up in Utah when I was a little kid, and they have fry sauce, and it's amazing.
So is that fry sauce just essentially mayo and ketchup?
There's obviously, you know how like you can have ketchup with chipotle sauce or whatever to kind of give it different things. There's 1,000 different ways to do it, but the base is ketchup and mayonnaise.
So to me, and again, I'm going back. I'm sorry to backtrack to all the fans.
No, this is the most important topic we've done today.
Yeah, but to me, it just seemed unnecessary. Like that seems because you have mayonnaise, you have ketchup, just together, and you got it. Like why do I need this process to put in one bottle?
Just taste it.
That's
all I gotta say,
we go.
man. It's
just,
so good.
You just have to.
You
try
can make
it.
your own peanut butter at home. Why do you buy it out of a jar?
How? Like crunch up peanut butter?
Yes,
No,
you can make your own. You can make your own butter. People did it for centuries.
Yeah.
Why do you buy butter? Because it's more convenient, right?
Touche.
Okay.
Touche. Lance. So now, tell me about what you do. I'm fascinated by the real estate world. So I want to hear about you.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit. So I am in what's called wholesale residential real estate. So essentially, we find real estate at a discounted price, and we put it under contract so nobody else can buy it, and then we sell the contract to an investor. So your fix and flip guy, or your buy and hold rental guy, or seller finance guys, a bunch of different types of investment vehicles. They all start with a deal, which is a property at a discount.
Yeah.
And so we source those deals, and then we sell the contract to different investors for different properties, and they then fix and flip the house and make their money, or they buy the property and put it in their rental portfolio and make money, or however they do business. Those are our primary clients.
Yep.
And we just kind of scour the Metroplex for properties that we can buy at a discount.
So is this the same stuff whenever I'm up at like 2 a.m. and I see the guy who's like selling his book, and here's how you can sell millions of houses for like no money down? Is this that kind of wholesale?
Less sleazy, but yeah.
yeah. Okay,
that's
good.
the idea.
I was hoping you would add the less sleazy part. I wasn't going to call you if you didn't, but it just seemed like one of those deals that for essentially very little down, it's just mostly what you do is your homework in finding the properties, and so you find those before anyone else can find them.
Yeah, it's not even homework, it's marketing. So essentially we're a marketing company and a negotiation company. We do a ton of marketing to find these sellers who are willing to sell at a discount for whatever reason. You know, there's foreclosure, there's, poor old grandma passes away and they need to do something with the home. So we're finding these people who are in a difficult situation, and then we are saying, hey, look, we know that it's hard, and so we'll buy the property, cash, sight unseen if you want, make it easy for you. And so you can dump it and move on. And then we take that property and we say, well, okay, investors, here's our pool of investors. Here's this property. Here's what you can buy it from us for. Here's how much you need to spend repairing it. And here's what it should sell for when you're done.
Yeah.
So essentially it's wholesaling.
So I've seen this done then, because I've gotten a thing in my mailbox before, like a little postcard. And I've seen it done well, and I've seen it done horribly.
Yes.
And the horrible one was someone said, I can tell that your house is in disrepair. I'm like, I mow. I'm proud of my home.
Clearly, sir, you need to get out of this home.
Clearly, times have hit you rough, and you're ready to offload this house. And I've also just seen the someone coming by and being like, hey, on the off chance you want to sell,
Yep.
Give us a call. The weirdest one was someone in my front yard taking a picture of my house.
Yeah.
And I walked outside, and they were like, oh, we heard it was for sale. And I was like, nope. So I've seen this done all. I did not know that's how you actually did that. I thought y'all guys were out looking for homes that were already either being put up for sale, but you go out and you try to find them before that point. So at that point in time, anyone can do what you do.
Mm-hmm. We also are helping out because there's no agents involved. We generally pay all the closing costs from buying the property. So it's not like, hey, I'm selling my house for $200,000 and I really only get $180 for it. It's like, if we're offering you $180, you're going to get $180 less whatever property tax there is due for the year.
Yeah.
And so it's menial usually, unless you have multi-million-dollar homes. Then generally you don't need to sell to us.
Yeah.
So
then you're not calling me.
Yeah, generally. So
well, that's fascinating. So you have a company now that does marketing, and so if someone how would you go about? Is it just the same thing, like a mail campaign? Is that your biggest thing, or how do you phone calls, cold calls? Do you check just all different kinds of
all of the above? So we do. Our primary focus for a long time has been direct mail.
Mm-hmm.
We're slowly getting into doing other types of marketing as we branch out. One of them is some cold calling, probably some door knocking, but door knocking would be very specific. So it'd be people who are in a foreclosure position, or someone who may have passed away and reaching out to their family. It's more directed. We're not going to go knock every single door in the Metroplex.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. So
what is it about a house that makes it attractive to you? Are you looking more at neighborhoods or places that you think have growth potential or something like that?
All of the above. I mean, the less attractive areas to us for investment are the polar opposite of what would be attractive. Sorry. Hit the microphone. Polar opposite.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, sorry. It's literally the opposite of what would be attractive to you as an end buyer. End buyers like homes in nice neighborhoods with clean-cut grass, and every single thing is how it's supposed to be. Think brand new Frisco. That's where a lot of people are moving to, that type of area. Versus where we're looking are areas that are a lot more seasoned, where there's been a lot more time for things to happen. Hey,
that's
I'm
a marketing term.
Correct,
that is a marketing term. It's seasoned.
Seasoned. Yes.
It's got more patina on the side. Yeah,
it has character.
Yeah.
So we're just looking in those areas. An area where we do a lot of work is like South Dallas. South Dallas is really up and coming now. There's great opportunity there because you can live 10 minutes from Dallas.
Yeah.
And not pay the Highland Park prices. And so that area is really good for us right now because it's transitioning. So the hottest areas for us are the transitional areas that are, or once were rougher and are getting cleaned up. Those are the most attractive areas to us, and oftentimes to our clients, because they see massive appreciation. Like, for example, if they're flipping a home and they buy it today and they put it on the market 5 months from now, well, that area's value has just naturally gone up because of what's going on in that neighborhood. So it's really attractive to them as investors to be able to go into that area and say, wow, even if I do make some mistakes or things don't shake out exactly, if you look at the appreciation that's happened over the last 6 months here, if that just continues, I'll be okay. It's not so much speculation. It's more like plan C, I'm still good and I'll still make money because this area is rising as a whole.
Well, so if you're out there and you know of anyone or you're in that position as well, my phone is ringing. There we go. Sorry about that. Unprofessional.
Are you just kidding me?
Unprofessional. If you're out there and you want to offload a home, this is the good thing is that, a lot of times homes can sit on the market for months. I think I saw some the other day that were 60, 70, 80, 90 days. And even in a hot market like we are right now, it's still not a guaranteed going to offload it. You have all the closing costs. You have negotiations back and forth. This is one of those deals. If you want to offload a house, it's kind of like wash your hands of the whole thing. Give Lance a call. You can go to homebuyers.com. That's the website. Am I correct on that?
www.homebuyers.com.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah. So do you have to say? Oh, I thought the WW was.
No, that's part of the.
Yeah, our company name's Win-Win Home Buyers, so WW Home Buyers to make it easy.
I was assuming the WW was like for the .com thing.
Nope.
So there you go. So www.homebuyers.com. Give Lance a shout and let him come out and start a contract. And thank you so much for joining the show.
Thanks for having me on. Unexpected, but
there you go.
I'm happy to be here.
When we come back, we'll get into the McDonald's case. And we are back. Welcome everybody to the Lunch Break Show. That's what happens here on the Lunch Break. Sometimes guests just come in.
You never know who drops in.
You never know. So
I wanted to ask him, but he got out of here. But I'm sure he runs into a million people who think they're the next HGTV stars who are going to flip houses and make bank for the rest of their lives, and they're going to be the next Chip and Joanna Gaines or whomever.
Well, that's one of those things I didn't know, and I thought I knew that I thought he was a guy that goes out and buys all these homes and then flips them.
Does the flipping himself?
But but that's actually a lot smarter. It's just finding the hot properties that people want to flip. Go ahead and get a contract. And then while the paperwork's adjusting, you've already sold the contract.
Right.
You've made money without ever having to buy the home. That's actually pretty genius.
I don't want to be swinging a hammer.
Nah, God, yeah.
Look at me, folks. This body's not built for swinging hammers.
Look at these hands. So McDonald's. McDonald's is in the news because they were taken to court. We all remember the old court case from McDonald's with the hot coffee.
Sure.
Again, this one is about a customer complaint that somehow went to a class action lawsuit targeting McDonald's because of its quote unquote extra value meals. And their suit said that this is not a value.
Right. In case you're not familiar, these are the meals that typically would have a number and comes with an entree item, a side item, and a drink. So whatever, a quarter pounder, fries, and soda.
She bought because I dislike people sometimes. So here's her reasoning, is that she purchased a sausage burrito on the value meal for $5.08.
Which comes with like hash browns and a coffee.
Yeah, hash brown coffee. Yeah. But when she did it with that, it only came out to $4.97
if she ordered all the items individually.
So really, she only saved 14 cents. And she goes, that is not an extra value.
So I thought it was the other way around, that the value meal cost a little bit more than if you were to buy the items.
Oh, yeah, you are correct.
Yes.
A 13-cent difference either way.
Right. So if you just simply order the number, you're paying 10, 13 cents more
of a convenience fee
than if you were to order them each individually. Yeah. And she sued because of this, because she says this is not a value.
It violates the Illinois Consumer Fraud and Deceptive Business Practices Act. Oh, my God.
I love it.
But again, I mean, she does have a case. And McDonald's should probably fix their pricing to where if you have a value bulk bundle meal, it's got to be at least a little bit cheaper than buying it individually.
I mean, value doesn't mean it's cheaper. Value just means you're getting something for value, right? I mean, if you were to, I don't know, go make a couple of burritos yourself and make hash browns, it's probably going to cost a little bit more than if you were just going to spend $5. So where's the value? Is the value relative to McDonald's, or is the value relative to every other place that you go and eat?
It has to be the value to McDonald's, because if it's cheaper to buy it individually, then
just buy it individually. Don't be a dope and just buy it individually, right?
Do basic mathematics.
Yeah.
I think that was her complaint, was that they're saying, hey, this is a value meal. If you buy them all in bulk, it's a value meal. Where if I buy them all individually, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So I think that was her big beef. Luckily, though, cooler heads prevailed, and Judge Bucklow threw the entire case out. So luckily, this did not have to be one of those hot coffee debates where McDonald's was forced to pay, millions of dollars to someone. But this had to cost more money in
it's not
preparation.
At all worth it.
Not worth it.
No.
Just stop. What happens to me when I feel like I'm being overcharged for something? I just stop going there. Like I had that with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, people love it. It's a phenomenal, and people love Chick-fil-A. I think it's overpriced. So yeah. I didn't go out and file a suit. I didn't go make a class action claim.
Don't go there.
I just stopped going. I think it's paying like $6 for a chicken sandwich. For what you get, for me, it wasn't the value point.
Right. Yeah.
So I stopped going. If you feel the same way, let me know. But I think that's always been especially for some reason here in Texas, saying you don't like Chick-fil-A is one of those little hot button issues that people get really riled up about.
So folks on Facebook, one thing that people on Facebook are pointing out, both Andy and Samantha pointing out that the hot coffee case was valid in that she was burned pretty badly in that case. So there was, I'll cut to your face right now. You can take it up with them. There's some validity in that case. It's not the same as this one. And in this one, I also don't think that that McDonald's is necessarily being deceptive. Again, like the court ruled, the prices are all there. It's not like they're hiding the prices of some items to make you think that this bulk item is cheaper. The prices are all there. And if you wanted to do the math like people did, then you could do it. Or you could just try it. I think the, whatever you want to call it, a convenience fee, or if they are just trying to trick people, but still there's nothing deceptive going on. They're just not making it as evident as, or they're wrapping it in language that makes it sound like it's a deal. It's still, if you want to order them separately, order them separately. If you want to just say, give me the number 8, then, just want to walk in and like a slug and say 8, and that's all you want to do, then yeah, you're welcome to do it.
We're going to come back after a quick break. We're going to talk about, there's another story, another article out about millennials and not grasping adulthood very well. We'll get into that coming up next on the Lunch Break Show. And we are back on the lunch break show. I'm reading the comments. I know I said we're going to talk about millennials.
Oh, people are mad.
Yeah.
People are angry.
And it goes, no millennials in the studio to talk about this. And technically, Matt and I are both.
We count.
We're
count.
on the verge. We count as millennials, I think, by definition.
I'm insulted by Anna's suggestion that I'm much older than I actually am.
How dare you? So the article came out that says millennials are clueless about taxes, and I don't know who makes up these demographics. I think it's because more and more people aren't doing the traditional thing. Did you ever do your own taxes?
Yeah, I mean, we still do our own taxes because it's not as complicated as that would warrant to go to a CPA or anything like that.
Yeah, I do my own taxes, but I do it through TurboTax. It's not really the thing. I do it myself.
Yeah.
I remember my mom and dad going to the library and getting the tax forms and like coming home and like pencil and paper or pen and paper and like filling out the taxes and like doing all the math, and that seems insane to me now. Like, I think if I had to do it on paper, I think I would fail pretty hard as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can do it. I don't want to do it, but I could. It's they make it relatively easy, especially if you just have one job. If you're not freelancing or anything, getting a 1099 or anything like that, it's just one page. Really, you just kind of fill the numbers in the way it says to.
So H&R did a poll for millennials, determine how much they know about taxes, and 66% of millennials said they didn't even know when tax day is.
Okay. Well, I mean, you should at least know that much.
I know. See, but for me, like, if you'd asked me, I would know it's in April. I didn't know it's that around that time of year, but I do mine early, so I don't ever have to worry about the deadline. They didn't know that life events, such as getting married and having kids, affects your tax return. It does.
Okay. Yes, it does.
I don't know how you wouldn't figure that out. I will say this. I was surprised at how little I got for having a kid. I thought the deduction for having a kid was a lot higher.
Having a kid was a payday, right?
Yeah, it's not.
I got money rolling in.
$1,000.
Well, there you go. That's all it's worth.
Done. Yeah, one of those deals is like that's not a tax break.
No.
I still spent way more than that on having a kid. And then lastly, half of all millennials say that filing their taxes has caused them stress and to lose sleep, with 82%.
I feel like that's anybody, right?
Yeah.
Did they survey older people with this at all, or does?
I guess only the young.
Okay.
Only
well, I mean, I imagine that some of the numbers might be the same. People are just a lot of angry millennials in the comments right now.
Yeah.
That know how to use Facebook.
70% of millennials said that they worry they filed them incorrectly. Which is, I think I would have that same fear. If I had to do it pen and paper, I would feel like I 100% made a mistake somewhere. Whether it's I didn't get enough back or I'm getting too much back, I would feel like I definitely failed this.
Yeah.
But with TurboTax, they have the assurance.
Well, I think part of the thing is that some of the questions that they're asking are depending on the age bracket because millennial spans a large number or a large age group. So people like us who are married and have gone through some of this stuff, we know some of this stuff implicitly. But if you're talking to a younger millennial, then I could understand, just as when I was younger, I didn't know everything that went into taxes. You know, it's like I maybe had a part-time job, or I had one job, and it was just a simple fill this out and turn this in, or send it to. And my parents were going to their accountant and say, hey, just take my taxes along with you, and I'll and we'll do it that way. But so yeah, I understand if you're younger, you probably don't know some of this stuff because you haven't encountered it yet, and that's not necessarily a failing of millennials. It's just being younger and not having to deal with taxes as long.
I like the comment in here that says this is basically, it comes down to the boomer generation, in which most millennials have boomer parents. The boomer generation not teaching, and my parents didn't. My parents never set me down and goes, here's what taxes and here's how it works and here's what you do and here's I never got that spiel.
No, but take some responsibility for your own.
Well,
Don't blame your parents because they didn't teach you how to balance a checkbook or how to do your taxes. I don't like that argument. I don't like that argument at all.
I'm not making it.
I know you're not making it. I'm telling the people who are making it. I don't like that argument. Take some responsibility, folks.
I will say this. I think even when I was in high school, I think high school needs to do a better job of preparing you for adulthood.
Sure. Yeah, there are certain things that they could teach you in high school, so you don't go to college and run up a bunch of credit cards.
Sure. I mean, just basic interest rates. Like because the first thing you're going to get if you're going to go to college, the first thing you're going to get 4 applications for being pre-approved for $4,000 in credit. They're going to give you $4,000.
They throw so much money at you when you go to college.
And $4,000 when you're a freshman in college buys so many Xbox games and Taco Bell burritos
and order pizza that ends up costing you $500 when it's all
you go crazy. I luckily my parents did instill that in me, and I never fell into that trap in college. But you see it all the time.
Yeah.
The credit card debt that racks up when you're in college, or they have like 17 credit cards because they have the Victoria's Secret credit card and the Target. Because it saves 5%. Stop.
The easiest thing in the world is to sign up for a credit card. It's the easiest thing in the world, and people make it easy for that reason because they know you're probably not going to pay it off. So they got you for way more money than if you had just saved up a little bit and bought the thing.
Yeah. So that's one of the, I think high school should do a better job of preparing people when they go off to college to live at least remotely on their own.
Yeah.
I think parents could do more. I think, you're right. I think as people who are trying to enter into adulthood, take some responsibility on yourself for learning how things operate and things work. But I think, even in school, because we had to learn how to balance a checkbook, which is pretty useless now. Because I know no one my age who carries a checkbook.
It's a good idea to keep track of your finances.
Sure.
But,
but that's not anymore. That's not on paper. It's funny. I did know someone one time that they got really proud of themselves because they had a checkbook, but they didn't quite know how the checkbook process worked. And so they were balancing their checkbook, and all of a sudden they wrote like 7 or 8 hot checks.
Oh,
and they couldn't figure out what they did. They went back and they were looking. They're like, Josh, look at this. I don't know what happened. And so what happened is whenever they would void a check, they would add that back into their balance. They added the voided check. Into their, because I voided the check, so plus
it's
$200.
I got that money back immediately.
But they never took it out.
Yeah.
So there's no minus $200, only plus because they voided the check. And so they had like 7 or 8 voided checks for ranking up almost to like to be $1,200.
Yeah.
And so for them, they were living large. I don't know where all this cash came from. I'm living footloose and fancy free. And then, they had to pay a lot
So
of
if I could just say one thing before, I know we're about to leave here. So as not to be too aggressive and upset all the whiny millennials out there that are watching. If you are sitting there watching and feel like you don't understand taxes or you don't understand interest rates or you don't understand this or that, go look it up. Like, just go and do, like, it's all that information is out there for you. So it's not enough to just simply say, well, I don't understand how this works. I don't understand how taxes work. Go look it up. Or go to an H&R Block or wherever.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, I don't know how to fill out my taxes. Can you do it? Or use TurboTax or something like that. And it's easier than ever to make this stuff work.
I will say this. I'm not sure about other counties. I live in Collin County, and I get a little flyer once a quarter that talks about what's in the Collin College for that semester. And they always have a basic finance class, and it costs like $40 or $50 to go take a class. If you're unsure about what you're doing, that is a phenomenal use of $50. A basic just finance class of like how, IRAs, spending, savings. That is a class that I would recommend to anyone, and sometimes even myself. So I'm sure other counties, I know Dallas, I'm sure has it. Tarrant has
probably.
it. So one of those deals. Go check it out. Educate yourself.
There are plenty of places that are willing to teach you if you're willing to learn.
Yeah. So
including the lunch break, folks.
Yeah, right here. It's one of those deals. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Again, love your comments and feedback. Please feel free if you have. You can email me at joshhart@realnewspr.com if you have any comments, or if you have a suggestion for future shows. We would love to get your feedback. Or if you want to come in and join us, just like Lance did today from www.homesales.com.
Got it right here. It is WW Home Buyers.
So close. Homebuyers.com.
www.homebuyers.com.
We can come and ruin your website just as we have ruined his. But you can come and join us on the show.
We'll completely mess up any plug that you want us to.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Have a phenomenal weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday.